Hello everyone. So today I'm gonna show you around here in my fish room. So it's gonna be like a little tour. I will show you my tanks, I will show you what fish I have, I will show you my filters, my lighting and all stuff like that. So let's move on and let's have a look. 1, 2, 3, 4. So there are 4 tanks in this rack. And they measure 110 centimeters long, 70 centimeters deep and 35 centimeters high. And they hold around 200 liters of water. And for lighting I use these 10 watt LED floodlights. And since I've never really had plants in these, this has been working really good for me. But since there's plants in one of the tanks and I'm considering to create an aquascape there, I might upgrade to a bit bigger floodlights for that particular tank. So this is the Malawi tank, and there's a couple of different Malawis in here. Unfortunately, there are a couple of species in here. I don't know exactly what they are, so I'm basically just using them as dither fish. It makes the others feel more comfortable and you see them swim around much more. And they actually look pretty good, so I'll keep them. So the ones I'm currently breeding are these Labidochromis sp perlmutt or perlmutt or however you pronounce it. I'll put it on the screen. Okay, so this one is the silver dollar breeding tank. So there's a pair in there right now, and I also have some fry over in the net bag. There's a silver dollar breeding video coming as well. It will take some time though. So this one is just a fry tank for the Malawis and for the catfish. And there's quite a lot of catfish in here, to be honest. I also use this as a plant storage tank. So stems I cut and stuff like that in my aquascapes, they go in here and I can reuse them or create new scapes if I want to, and I have a lot of extra plants that I can use. So the last one in the rack is just empty. I don't really know if you noticed, but in those other 3 tanks there are filter corners. In this one I only have 2 sponge filters because I had to switch out the back window on this one, so I didn't really add in a filter corner in this one, but that's fine, it works anyway. So these are the filter corners I was talking about, and I'm using air to power them. In this particular Malawi tank I also have a little power head next to the outlet of the air there for some extra circulation in here. And this tank right here, this is 540 liters, and this is my Reeve's turtle tank. So I have 2 male Reeve turtles in here, and they have a little basking spot up there that they can lay. I put the basking light right up there. I do use an all-in-one basking light, so it has both heat and UVB and everything needed for them. So here is the basking light, and I've cut up a hole, and there's the basking spot. It's one of those floating, pretty convenient. And since there's 2 males in here, they don't really need sand or anything, so I can get away with just this floating basking spot really. And over here I have this shelf where I keep 2 of my aquascapes up here. I have some cherry shrimps in this tank, and this will also act as a fry tank for some of my silver dollar fry. And there's also some space for all the fish food here. Oh, actually we can take a look at this shrimp tank before we go to the aquascapes. So there's a lot of cherry shrimp in here. No fancy ones, just normal ones. Not the best quality, but I kind of like them anyway. So here are some of those cherries. And in this tank I'm using these sponge filters. I do it in my aquascapes as well. Because I have so many tanks, it's cheaper and kind of simple to just go for air-driven filters. So this one is one of my aquascapes. I did trim it very recently, just the other day, so it's kind of empty on the left side. There's supposed to be a lot more stem plants over there, but they will grow back pretty quickly. And in this tank I also use a sponge filter on the left side over there. Works pretty good, I think. I've not seen many people using sponge filters in aquascapes, so that might be a first, but it's working really well, so I'm happy with it. So in here it's quite hard to see really, but this is the Tropica System Nano diffuser, the 3-in-1 diffuser. So this one, you can change out the ceramic disc on it if it goes bad or old or something like that. It also have this inbuilt bubble counter, and there's also a non-return valve on this one. So this is my Tropica System Nano CO2 system, and I've put an adapter here so I can use this soda stream bottle. This contains, I don't know, maybe 5 times more CO2 than a regular nano bottle, and it also costs much less to actually refill this one. So this is a real gain for me. I think a refill is about half the price or maybe a third of the price of a regular nano bottle, and it also contains 5 times more CO2. So this is really good. So this one was the first aquascape I ever tried to do, and I think it turned out pretty decent. I just cut this back really hard. There's already a video you can check if you want to see how it looked before I trimmed this. So let's see if we can get a shot of some shrimps here. Most that are visible right now are the smaller ones. I do like these shrimp, they are really nice, really red shrimps. Here's a good looking one. This is probably a female. I think I can see a hint of the saddle in this one, so this is probably a female, a young female. So in this tank I'm using a sponge filter on the right side as well. Works really good. And over here, I'm gonna zoom in on it. This is a Twin Star diffuser. I really like this one. It works really well because I'm using my DIY CO2 system here. The thing with this diffuser is that it doesn't require high pressure, so this works really well with the biosystem. So this is quite nice for the DIY system. So up on the shelf here, that's my DIY CO2 system right here. Excuse the mess up on the shelf here, but this is actually working really good for me. And if you can see over here, that's my little DIY diffuser as well. I do have quite a good recipe for this system for using nano tanks. And I think I'm gonna create another video about how to make this CO2 system, including the diffuser here, and also include that good recipe. As for those two aquascapes, the light I use here is the Nicro Slim LED daylight. This is supposed to work for low to high demanding plants, and I'm very pleased with this. It's a budget light, but it does the job really well in both of these scapes. So this is my most recent scape, and right now those neon tetras are in this tank. This one I'm also using a sponge filter, and I'm gonna show you the DIY diffuser in action right now. So it's quite hard to see, but this is how tiny the bubbles are on the DIY diffuser when there's new cotton padding in it, and it works really well actually. After a while the bubbles will become bigger, and it can't handle too much of CO2 injection. But for a nano tank, this works really well. And once the bubbles get too big, you just pull out the diffuser, change out the cotton padding in it, and put it in again, and you get these fine bubbles. And as for this tank, I'm using the Nicro Classic LED Generation 2 LED ramp. And this is a very shallow tank, so I think I'm running it at 80% right now, and it's more than enough, so pretty pleased with that. And then next to the tank here, as you can see, there's my DIY brine shrimp hatchery. And yeah, you can also see behind the tank there. I'm running a DIY CO2 system in this tank as well. So this here is the largest tank I have. This is 720 liters and it's 2 meters long. This is where I keep all my largest fish. And since I keep silver dollars and big cichlids in this one, I'm not using any real plants. There's only plastic plants here. So the lighting in this is not that important really. So this is just a LED ramp that you put up in the roof basically. I try to keep everything in here as cheap as possible because I have so many tanks and I kind of want to keep the costs down a little bit. And I've got a couple of cichlids. There's some Oscar cichlids as you can see over here. I've got 2 Vea cichlids. This is actually a pair and they seem very keen to start breeding right now. So if I'm lucky, I might get some fry out of these ones. I also have some Nicaragua cichlids in here. I do have 2 peacock bass. There's a couple of silver dollars. And there's also the leopard bushfish. And they are quite nice. I like them. I do have 2 of them. Let's see if I can focus on this one. Right now they want to hide a little bit because I've been filming a lot in here for the tour, so they're a bit spooked. I do also have this flagtail. It's a quite nice fish. So in the biggest tank there's actually 2 filter corners. In the left corner there's a finer sponge filter. It's driven by air, and there's also one of those Eheim canister filters, 1000 liters per hour in this corner. And there's another filter corner to the right. This one is a little bit bigger, and this one is run by air, and there's also a power head in there that pumps out 200 liters per hour. And there is also one of those big sponge filters in the middle here for some extra filtration really. So this is my air filter right here. This is a Reeve LP60. So this pumps out 70 liters per minute, or I think it is 4,200 or 4,500 liters per hour of air. So that's a quite large air pump. That's why I can use so many sponge filters in all my tanks. It does work really well. I've had it for, I don't know, 2 years maybe, and it's still going strong. I think this will last for many years. So this is where the hose comes from the big air pump, and there's a splitter up here, and there's just air tubes going everywhere in the roof here, going to all of my tanks. So guys, I think I've covered most of the stuff I have in here, and if there's anything you want to see more of, maybe some specific fish, maybe my maintenance schedule, or maybe feeding routines, cleaning routines, fertilizing routines, or it can be anything really. Let me know in the comments. And don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed this. And that is all for today. See you guys next time.